Hi, my name is Richard Chambers. I'm the Development Officer at the Royal Pigeon Racing Association. Today is the 24th of May 2022 and finally the DEFRA registration process has opened, ready for people to start registering. This video is to talk about how to obtain a CPH number, which is the first part of the registration process with DEFRA, and how to get your coordinates for your loft, which is also part of attaining that CPH number. So if you keep watching the video, follow these step-by-step instructions, and it should be nice and simple. Okay, first what you need to do is log on to the Royal Pigeon Racing Association website, which is rpra.org, which you can see in the address bar just there. Now, if you scroll down the left-hand side, you need to search for this box here, which is the EU Animal Health Regulations Channel Racing for the 24th of May. Now, depending on when you're doing this, this should be at the top, but if you do this at a later time, it may be further down the list, and all you need to do is scroll down and find where that is. We will make it prominent on this page, though, for you to be able to do that, either on the left-hand side in latest news, or I will add something on the tabs on the right-hand side. What you need to do, you need to go into that article and wait for the document to open up. From there, what we need you to do is we need you to read all this information so you understand what you're signing up for and you understand what's going on. So there's lots of different tabs. At this point, what I would suggest is that you pause this video, read this information, and then come back to it. Okay, now you're back with the after reading all the information on here, and you have a number of options now. Now, the first thing that we need you to do is to click on this button here, which is the frequently asked questions regarding loft registration and the animal health export. Again, we need you to read these information so you understand what it is the whole process is about, which is what we've been working on over the last few months. And at that point, again, I'll ask you just to pause if you have not done that so already. If you are and have read all the information, then we need to now get you your CPH number. This is the first thing we need to do. So I'll repeat that. You need to get your CPH number at the first point before we do anything else. So as you can see, this is the document. Just need to scroll down to where it says how to register in England and Wales. Okay, so you've got all this information. What I want you to do first is to go down, and where it says you can locate your national grid field number by using the magic map instructions. Now, you need to get your true longitude and latitude first. Now, we can't use the RPRA longitude and latitudes for that, so please do not use your RPRA ones. We have to do it through this process. It is a different system, and the DEFRA use a different mapping facility to us. So what I want you to do is, when you're connected to the internet, I need you to click the magic map. Now, it will bring you to this page where it says Get Started, Interactive Map for Fingerprints. Now, we're going to try and find your home now. So it's very simple. What you need to do is you need to click on the Get Started button in the middle. You will then be taken to a map of the United Kingdom. Now, there are two ways that we can do this. The most simplest way of finding your house is very simple. We put your postcode in the top. So I'm going to put my house number in the top. So it's at the top. You need to make sure, and then the list of postcodes come up, so it goes in the search bar. Do not put it all as one word. It will not work if you do that. You need to put the space in between your postal area and your street area here. So please make sure that's in. Then you can click on that, and then what will happen is it will zoom in to where that postal address is valid for. So as you can see, this blue area here shows where that postal area is valid. Now, all you need to do then at this point is go to the top instruction bar here, and you'll have a number of icons. We are looking for this target button that is in between the ruler and the information identity button. it should come up, where am I? So when you hover over that button, you click it, you then move the mouse down and you click on your house. So I'm going to click on a house here. Now you have to identify which one of these is your house. Unfortunately, it doesn't give you street names or numbers, but you should be able to identify the geographical area of your house. So what we'll do, we click on the house on the left-hand button, and it brings up, sorry, I'll do that again. It brings up from that area your house and then this box. Okay, now the important information we need out of here is the easting and northing. Now you need to either, and I suggest that you take a screenshot of this. If you're not able to do that, you can take a photo of this from your camera on your phone or any other camera. At minimum, you need to write down the easting and northing number in two different programs. So write the easting number down and the northing. Do not worry that your longitude and latitude is different to the ones that you've got from the RPRA. As I said, they work off different systems. Please do not do that. It will not correspond. As long as you have clicked on the house, on your house, where this is from, where you live, this will work, and that is what we need. Okay, you need to make a note of that. Okay, so once you've done that and you've took a screenshot, what I would do is then close down your map. Okay, that is the first thing that we need to do. We're now back at the RPRA page, which is great. So now we go back onto the FAQs. In fact, no, sorry. We now go on to the gov.uk heading. When you click that, it will take you to talking about registering a racing pigeon establishment to move to the EU or Northern Ireland for races. Now, from this position here, okay, what we need to do, we need you just to read a bit of the information so you understand who can register establishments, etc., etc. And then when you've registered when you've read all of these, we need to apply for a CPH number. Okay. When you do that, you just click on apply for a CPH number for racing pigeons, like so. You'll be then taken to this page. Again, you can click on this and read all the information on how to get information on how to get a CPH number. Okay, and you can also go back. Now, what we need to do now is fill in the form for your loft, and that is this box here. If you click on that there, it will download the form. Now, there are, depending on what you're using, I'm using a MacBook, so I'm going to have to manually do that, and I can show you what to do for that in a moment. But there may be an option on your PC, laptop, Windows, Chromebook to download this. Okay, so what I do is right-hand click, and it comes up with an, sorry, that's wrong. I need to now save this form to my documents. So what I'll do is I'll go back here and I will right-hand click. Sorry, that's wrong. I will double click on here, and it says download linked file as. Okay, now when you download the file, it will give you what you can download it to. So your desktop or whatever file you want it to download to, and then you give it a name. So I just left it as the Pigeon Racing Establishment Form, and I'm going to put test because I've already done this, and I'm just so I know that it's you. I'm going to save it, okay, and it goes up here on my MacBook, but on yours, it may go to your documents, my computer, wherever you save it, it will be there, okay. Once you've done that, we're going to minimize the screen, and then we're going to find that document on here. So there it is, it's test, and I'm going to open up that document, which is great. Okay. From here, you should be able to fill in your book. Now, for me, different computers do different things. If you're on MacBook, you will need to select the icon here and fill it in. Okay, so I select the writing icon and I can start typing. For some of you, you might have to print this off, okay, and then fill it out manually and then scan it back into the computer. That's an option as well. Or you can input it as a picture and you can write over the top. But we need to fill in this form. So when we fill in this form, you put your title, your first name, my second name. Where it says SBI number, your single business identifier number, you don't need to touch that at all, so ignore that. Where it says business and trading name, you need to put your name again as it's stated in your title, because we're not a business. Unless you are a business, for example, a stud who races in that name, you would put that down there. But if not, I would keep it simple. Just put your names in, and that would be perfect. Okay. Again, you put your address. So I'm going to put 123 Tops Road. So whatever it is, I'm going to call that in Mackington, and it's Cumbria. And that's fine. Then you put the postcode, so it's CT21123, whatever your postcode is. Your landline, which we'll just put whatever landline in there. You put your mobile number, 07934264532. I'm probably sorry if that's your number, but just for demonstration purposes. You tick the box whether you're happy to receive a voicemail or not. That's your option. You need to put your email address. Okay. And then you put your legal status, which you are obviously a sole proprietor. There's only one person on here. So if you're in a partnership, so I'm in a partnership with my brother and my father and my grandfather, I would only put my name. I'm the person who's responsible for registering the lofts. So just be aware of that. And that would be where your lofts are located, not where you live. So I live in a different location. I've put where my lofts are located. Okay. Charity number, we don't need to worry about. Company's house, we don't need to worry about. Again, now we need to put your loft again. So all I tend to do here is just click on this, highlight it and copy and put it back in here. Okay. Again, you can manually type that in, but I'm just doing it for speed. I would then copy that as well, if I do it properly. Paste it in there. Okay. Make sure they match and make sure it is relevant. Now, you only have to do it for one block. If you are in multiple lofts, so if you have pigeons that are at a multiple place, so stock loft at one and racing at the other, you've got two options. You can register where the person who looks after your stock pigeons, or you can put another address in here as well. Okay. If that's the case, you need an Eastings and Northings for both of your lofts. So your racing loft and your stock loft, or whatever that might be. So you'd have to do the process on mapping twice, one for your racing loft and one for your stock loft, and that would be there. Okay. So for me, I've only got one place where I keep my stock birds and I keep my race birds and I keep my young birds. So I'm just going to do one. But for example, another member might have a separate location for stock. I would put them both in. Right, once I've filled that out, I'm first going to designate that I'm the owner. Unless you are a tenant. So for example, you might be renting that property. I own my house. So I put owner. If I was leasing for less than a year, I would put that there, or more, etc., etc. So if council properties, or if you're privately leasing, that would be the options you would select off those. So I'm going to select owner, and then that is where your Eastings and Northings number come from. So what you do now, you put your Eastings number down, and you put your Northings number down. Okay, for your location. Again, like I said, you would have to do a separate one if you're stock birds or etc. You had two lofts at a different location. Okay, and you can do that for up to 3 lofts. All I want you to do at this point is to read all the documents properly again. And I'm going to go through it because some people have submitted already and have not filled this process in, so they're going to have to resubmit. So we read the information about what it is we are about to do. Okay, we put our title and name down. We ignore the SBI. We put our business name, which is our real name. So mine's Richard Chambers. We put the address where the birds are located, the postcode, your landline and mobile. If you don't have a landline, all you do is, which a lot of people don't now, you just put NA. Or you can put your mobile number in twice. You tick whether or not You tick whether or not you are happy to receive voicemail, and then you put your email in. You tick what you are. So in this situation, it's a sole priority because this is talk about the business, and we are all these. Doesn't matter if you're in a partnership with someone, I would still put sole priority because it is us that are dealing with it. Okay. Charity, no. Are you registered with Companies House? No. So you don't fill those in. Again, we're now down to loft location. You need to put your address, the postcode, the Eastings number, the Northern number, and what status your house is. Is it you own it, you've leased it for a year or less, or you are a tenant for more than a year? Right, at this stage, you need to save this document. So you should have downloaded it to your computer. Okay, if you haven't done, you need to download it before you complete it. Save it, and then I'm going to call this one test again. So I've just made sure that it's saved. Now, when I go out of that, leave it, and then come back into it, I do this as a test to make sure that it is properly saved. On laptops and PCs, you'll have to press the save button at this point. On MacBooks, it does it automatically. That's what you need to do. Now, when you've got that, what we need to do now is to manually send it if you click on this button here and it does not work. So we're having some issues at the moment, and the departments, DEFRA, have identified this problem and have showed us a bypass. If you complete that form and click this button and it works, you'll be able to email from there. If not, you need to save it as an attachment to an email, which I'm now going to show you what to do. So once you've done that, we close that box down and you open up your email settings. Okay, and you open a new box up. When you've done that, all I need you to do first is to put as the title of the form. So I have two boxes here, and the title of the form is, as you can see here, is the Racing Pigeon Establishment Registration Form. Now, the easiest thing to do is to copy that and paste it. The only thing that DEFRA have asked us to do, that's as a minimum, is could you change all of that to capitals? Because what that does, it will put your form at the top of the list in regards to any other applications for CPH numbers that DEFRA have, because we are a priority group. So all I'm going to do is change the wording to capitals. Okay, it's really important, if you want to get this done quickly, that this is done with capitals. Okay, change everything. Right, excellent. So you've now got the title. That will put this application at the top of the list to get this process through as quick as we can. I'm then just going to put a brief email, say, hi, my name, I'm Richard Chambers, and I am applying for a CPH number. Let's make sure I've said that. I've said it 1,000 times today. We'll make sure that it's right. In fact, I'll put I am submitting my, and I just copy the title. I just put regards, and then I'll put my name. I would put my address and my postcode. And then what I would do is put my number, and that's at least then you're contactable. Now at this point, you need to attach this form that you've saved to your email. And there's two ways of doing that. A lot of computers, you can literally just go to your desktop, grab it and drag it, which I can do on my MacBook. And a lot of other PCs do that. So you go to the bottom, drag it and drop it. The other way to do it is you're looking for the safety pin icon on your desktop. If you click that, what will happen is then you can search through where you saved the form to, and you can click it. So there's mine test, and I'm going to choose the file, and that will also attach it. Okay. Now, where do you need to send this to? Okay. So where we need to send this form to is in the original download when we look at the FAQs from the RPRA website. Okay. And we're going to scroll down to where it says rural payments defra.gov.uk. So all I'm going to do is copy that. You can click on it and it'll give you an email, but you've already done the work. So I just copy that and paste it into the to column. Now, just to make sure that it's been sent and you get confirmation of this, you can, if you're computer literate, just ask for receipt of this and you know how to do that. If you don't, the best thing to do is put your email in there. So I'm going to put my email in here and select my RPRA account. And what that means is you will also be sent an email of this email. Okay, so you know that it's been sent as well. Okay, so you know that it's gone through. So I'm just going to check. At any point you want to check the form to make sure it's done, you can double click the form and it'll bring up what you've submitted. And you can check it again for a final time. You just need to close that down. Okay. You then make sure that all that is filled out, highlighting and making sure that this here is absolutely spot on, that the title is the form that you're submitting and that it's in capital letters, because that will put you to the top of the queue. If you don't put that there, your application will take longer. That has been confirmed today from DEFRA. If you do not do that, it will be confirmed. It will take longer. Once you've done that, you press send. At that point, you should then get an email back from DEFRA. Don't worry about that because I'm not going to send it because I've already submitted mine. Is you should get an email back in effect that says this. Okay, that's thank you for your email to ensure that we can, and that note that tells us that they have received the form. Okay, don't worry too much if you don't receive that. Just go back into your sent item, make sure that it's not in an outbox, that it's waiting to be sent. And if you've got poor internet connection, that can sometimes happen. But look in your sent, and it should be there, like mine is there, and it should tell you that where it's been sent to. So that is to conclude the part one, which is the application for the CPH number. Part two will be about the operation declaration, and that can't be completed until everyone's got their CPH numbers. So we will be putting a video on how to do that in the next day or two.